Hold up. Rivian didn't just update a truck. They rewrote what an electric pickup can be. Meet the 2026 Rivian R1T Quad, the one with 4 independent motors, brainy torque vectoring, and enough grunt to make you forget this thing's a truck and not a supercar with a bed. Over the next 8 minutes, I'll take you through the design, the interior, the wild performance numbers, charging and range realities, the tech that actually matters, price, and who this truck is for. Spoiler, it's loud in all the best ways. From the outside, it's unmistakably Rivian, clean, purposeful, and modern, but the Quad wears a slightly tougher look. The light bar up front still gives it that signature face, but bumpers are beefed up, skid plates are visible, and the body sits higher with real underbody protection, not just for show. The wheels are big and purposeful, wrapped in rubber that says, "We'll go off-road," and the short overhangs plus long wheelbase make it feel planted. Little details like integrated recovery points, a smarter tailgate, and a bed that's actually modular remind you this is a working truck. Except it doesn't sound like one when you launch it. Step inside and you get the Rivian blend of utility and premium. The cabin is calm and modern. Big central touchscreen, clean physical controls for the essentials, and materials that feel both rugged and refined. There's still that brilliant gear tunnel running through the middle, a storage solution Rivian perfected, plus a surprisingly deep front trunk for extra luggage. Seats are supportive for long trips, and the interior layout leans into clever utility. Hidden compartments, weatherproof storage, and outlets in all the right places. It's a luxury SUV crossed with a toolbox, and it works. Now let's talk about the headline stuff, because this is where the R1T Quad becomes outrageous. Rivian's Quad setup puts an electric motor at each wheel, which lets the truck independently control torque for insane traction and handling. That setup yields roughly 1,025 horsepower and about 198 lb-ft of wheel torque. And Rivian quotes a no-cruise 60 sprint in around 2.6 seconds. Yes, in a pickup truck. Rivian.com. That's supercar territory, and it's usable thanks to launch controls and a chassis that was engineered to handle the forces involved. Range and battery tech aren't afterthoughts either. The Quad gets Rivian's large battery architecture and a very real long-range capability. EPA-style estimates put the Quad in the high 300s of miles. Rivian lists real-world numbers in the mid to high 300s depending on mode. And the company is careful to give a conserve mode for stretch range driving. That means you can plan real road trips with this thing without living at charging stalls. Rivian.com. Battery capacity numbers have varied by reporting, but expect Rivian's large pack options in the 120-140 kWh usable range, depending on configuration, which is part of why the truck can carry those long mile claims. Edmunds charging has been improved for 2026. Rivian now embraces NX and has boosted peak charging rates across the lineup, which translates to practical fast charge sessions that actually add huge chunks of range in 15 to 30-minute stops, not just in ideal lab conditions, but in real highway use. Plan your trip stops with confidence. A short break at a high-power charger gets you back on the road quickly. Car and driver. On the road, the Quad's independent motors change the driving game. Torque vectoring works in milliseconds, so the truck can dial power to the right wheel to pull itself out of slippery situations, attack a corner with surprising composure, or manage trailer sway while towing. Off-road, it's ridiculous in the best way. Adaptive air suspension gives huge ride height when you need it. Specialized drive modes tune traction and damping for sand, rock, or snow, and the articulation keeps wheels planted when others would climb. It's the kind of capability that lets you confidently point the truck at places you'd usually only dream about going in a gas rig. Practical features matter too. Rivian's bed ecosystem remains one of the most thoughtful out there. Configurable tie-downs, slide-in kitchen options, and integrated power outlets turn the truck into a mobile base camp. The gear tunnel still exists, and is now even more functional with additional power connections and weatherproofing. The bed also supports useful utility options: modular storage boxes, racks, and a tailgate designed to be more usable than most trucks' stock tails. The front trunk swallows fragile gear that shouldn't live in the open bed. That's something you don't realize you want until you have it. Inside the tech stack, Rivian leans hard into software that matters. Smart trip planning with charger integration, OTA updates that add features and refine behavior, and a suite of driver assists that are increasingly capable. Rivian's off-road navigation and waypoint planning are legitimately useful if you actually explore. And OTA means the truck gets better after you buy it. New drive modes, refined traction strategies, even improvements to charging behavior can arrive without a dealer visit. So what does all this cost? The quad-motor R1T sits in the premium range. Current pricing for the quad lands around the low to mid six figures, depending on options and battery. Think starting in the ballpark of $115,000, $120,000. For a well-equipped quad, with fully optioned examples climbing from there. US News Cars. Yes, it's a serious investment, but compared to the combination of supercar-level performance, overland-grade capability, and a premium interior, Rivian's pricing lands, where you'd expect for a top-tier lifestyle truck. Who should buy this? If your life involves weekend overlanding, long trips, where charging convenience is important, and you want a truck that can both tow and thrill, the R1T Quad is a brilliant fit. It's for buyers who want a standalone vehicle that's part luxury SUV, part expedition rig, and part performance machine. If you're purely a heavy-duty commercial buyer, focused on lowest cost per mile towing day in and day out, there are cheaper, more utilitarian options. But if you want the most versatile electric truck on the market, one that'll outrun many sports cars, tow your boat, and climb trails on Saturdays, this is it. Nothing is perfect, of course. It's heavy, so consumables like tires and brakes will cost more over time. Repairs on bespoke bodywork and high-voltage systems can be pricier, and availability in some markets will be limited depending on Rivian's production cadence. But for buyers who want capability and tech wrapped in a distinct design, those trade-offs are expected. At the end of the day, the 2026 Rivian R1T Quad is a statement. Electric trucks can be brutally fast, embarrassingly capable off-road, and surprisingly civilized on the road. It's a truck that refuses to compromise on fun while still being useful. If you dream about a vehicle that doubles as a weekend explorer and a daily showstopper, the Quad is the kind of machine that makes you excited to go outside again.